I'm about to spend 4 weeks traveling through France and Switzerland. Mom and I start with a few days in Paris and then move to Strasbourg and the Alsace region. Then, my partner MK and I spend 3 weeks going from Lucerne to Zermatt to Grindelwald. Mom and I have been travel buddies for years, and it will be the first time for either of us in France. MK and I then plan to do as much hiking as possible, spending loads of time outside in the country that isn't real.
We started planning this trip in the fall of 2024, and while I didn't exactly know what the spring would hold, I could tell based on my company's financial runway that we either would have just raised another round, just sold the company, or just ran out of money. So either way, I was going to need a long break, and I wanted to do this big, epic journey. I'd been to Switzerland once in 2018, but only for about 3 days, and I'd always wanted to go back. As I started putting this trip together, the main driver was when I realized that Strasbourg and Zurich were only a few hours away by train. So my mom and I could fly into Paris, then go to Strasbourg, then to Zurich. Mom would leave and my partner MK would join, and then we'd start the Switzerland leg. Being outside in the mountains and hiking for 2 weeks sounded exactly like what I'd need after what I knew would be a stressful spring. We looked at adding Austria or northern Italy, but there was just so much to see in Switzerland, and the ease of traveling around on the Swiss train system made us say, you know what, let's just spend this entire time in Switzerland. And then I'd never been to France. Despite all the traveling I'd done, for one reason or another, France had just never made it onto an itinerary. Mom and I didn't want to spend too much time in Paris. We're more about small towns, but we had to fly into Paris anyway, and it's so iconic that we said, let's spend a couple days there just because, then we'll head into the Alsace region. So that's how the trip came together. I'd spent the last 5 years building my company, not traveling nearly enough, so this was me making up for lost time. Let's dive in.
First order of business, get checked into the hotel. We're staying at the Hoxton in Paris. We first found the Hoxton in Amsterdam, and now we stay at Hoxton properties as much as possible. I had obviously already moved into this room when I filmed this. After we got settled, we immediately jumped into sightseeing with the most touristy thing you could possibly do in Paris, the Eiffel Tower. Really trying to not look down. This is definitely an experience. Pretty incredible, but way freakier than I thought. Kind of had to sprint towards the end there. That was definitely triggering for me and my heights. And now look at what I'm looking at. What did you think of that?
I'm surprised.
Kind of had to sprint there at the end.
I am really surprised. I didn't think it would be that hard.
Yeah. It was more the heights for me. That's what got me. I don't know, you don't react as bad as I do with heights.
Right. I don't ever get out of breath, and I got out of breath.
Yeah.
I think these must be the original, example of original stairs you climbed it with. That would be slightly terrifying.
After the Eiffel Tower, we were super jet lagged, so we just made our way back to the hotel, which took an hour and a half thanks to a closed Paris metro line.
Good morning from Paris, day 1. Walking to breakfast with Mom. Gonna walk around for most of the day. That's our day planned. Eat and drink our way through Paris. Excited to start the day. Generally quite lovely. We've just been standing here looking at the river for a minute.
Mom needs a hat.
Mom needs a hat. Mom is a little cold.
Down at how long the line is. That's the security line to get into the Louvre, and the wonderful knickknacks that sell the plastic Eiffel Towers. They're right there.
That could be you.
That could be me, and they're within reach.
We came to see the famous pyramid at the Louvre. The Louvre. We're not going in the Louvre. That was like the number one piece of advice people gave us about Paris is don't go in the Louvre. But it's just insane building. Standing here looking down through the glass pyramids that you've seen pictures of forever. Almost hard to believe, actually standing here and seeing this close. Not to say that this is the most amazing ever, but it's more back to that thing of you've just seen pictures of it forever, and now it's right there. But we're getting close to finding beer and cafe next. Chairs. We ate lunch walking. We grabbed sandwiches, but
No, we got the best sandwich ever
the
in
best,
the whole world.
the best sandwich ever.
Ever that went in my mouth. I can go home now. I've had the best sandwich.
It is now 2:30,
Oh.
overdue time for beer. Found another carousel. Reminds you of Italy. Sad.
one of the best things ever? That's what your face says.
Is that good?
Is it on my face?
No.
I hope it is.
That is insane.
After a full day of exploring, we called it a night with a drink at the hotel.
Good morning from day 3. I guess it's day 3. This is our second full day in Paris, and today we're heading to the Museum d'Orsay and then going to walk around the Latin Quarter, and if we make it in time, we're going to go to the Montmartre area. I realized today that I have a bit of an aggressive schedule, so we'll see how far we make it. Art museums aren't usually my thing, but Paris is like the place for museums, so you have to try it while you're here. So yeah, let's get into it.
After the museum, we started making our way through the left bank in the Latin Quarter, stopping for lunch at Les Deux Magots. We stumbled upon the Church of St. Severin and decided to go inside. What a beautiful surprise! A group was singing in the church. We decided to stop and sit for a bit. Mom got a cappuccino, and I got a beer. And then we made our way to the Montmartre area for the afternoon to visit the Basilica of the Sacred Heart. Then it was time to climb to the top. Just lovely, definitely worth the climb. It was a little bit claustrophobic, but
Not
think
as bad
that
as the subway was claustrophobic.
yeah, I'm enjoying this more than the Eiffel Tower climb. Today was a packed day. Today, I think I was very ambitious with our Paris plans. I'm looking forward to slowing down the pace a little bit. I think that Mom and I both have said that it's been perfect to start our trip with Paris. Yeah, I'm just really excited for Strasbourg. Great start to the trip and on to the next phase. The next morning, we caught the train to Strasbourg. Well, we thought we were where we were supposed to be, but we were in the wrong seats. So now we're in the right seats. Carriage 12. We were staying in the Coeur de Cabot Hotel, a hotel originally built in the 1500s and beautifully restored just a few years ago. Gotta be one of the nicest hotel rooms I've stayed in Europe. And the best part.
Look up too. Vines growing in that wall right there. How did you find this? But why did they give this to us? Because we have 2 rooms?
I guess. Yeah, I actually can't believe this. And this was not that much more expensive than any of the other options, nor than the Paris hotels. Like, this is a insane step up in luxury. This is, oh my gosh. And look at this. This must be the room before it was renovated. Wow. Yeah, they've done a good job. I was just saying,
Where's the toilet? It has a separate water closet, of course. Why would you not have a separate water closet in a hotel room in Strasbourg?
Once we got settled, we did a bit of walking around, and of course had to try the flammkuche, a thin, flatbread-style dish famous in the Alsace area. I dropped Mom off at the hotel for the night and found a local bar to finish out the night. Good morning from Strasbourg. It's an incredibly beautiful morning. Plan is to just kind of walk around. I have not had my coffee yet, so bear with me here. Go find breakfast first and walk for a bit, and then find somewhere to sit on one of the canals or one of the little streets, and yeah. Proud of her for doing this. I didn't think she actually would, but she wanted to. Then we made our way to the main Strasbourg Cathedral. The cathedral houses an astronomical clock originally dating to the 1300s and is believed to be the oldest automated machine ever created. The intricacy of this cathedral is just astounding. I mean, we were just saying it feels like it would have taken 1,000 years to build this. It's like, I actually don't, it's hard to fathom how humans could create this. We got lunch on the canal. Then made our way to a bit of an unusual activity. The wine cellar under the old Strasbourg hospital. So we've come down to the historic wine cave in the bottom of the Strasbourg hospital. It feels a little bit off the beaten path. It was a little bit confusing to get here, but now we're in the wine cellar of the hospital. It was originally built in 1395 so that the hospital could accept wine as payment for their services. And now we're walking around these ginormous barrels, some of them from the 1800s. So this barrel here is from 1881 and can store 26,000 liters of wine. That's slightly more than I typically drink with my average charcuterie board. And then there's a wine shop. We're going to the wine shop at the end here to buy wine. But this is just really interesting. What does this one say?
You need to read that and not get freaky about it.
What does it say?
It's where in the 14th century, it's where the medical students would bring the corpses for the medical students to study.
Down here?
Right there, in back of that door.
Oh.
That's how they learned dissection and how to operate.
All right.
It was illegal.
So they did it in the wine cellar.
Behind that door.
Huh. This is a wine press?
From 1727. It says it's inscripted on here.
Yeah, you can see, it says.
But look at where it must have been located in this hill.
I guess. You know that's where we're going tomorrow.
Yes.
This is officially the coolest wine store I've ever been in. This is well worth coming to. It's a little bit different and unique. And it's very quick, but it's very cool. And it ends with wine, so. Well, good morning again from Strasbourg. We've come and ate breakfast and stood in the same place on the bridge, had breakfast from the same little bakery because it was just so good. And today we are going driving on the wine route. So that's why we're up bright and early and walking towards the train station to go get our rental car. And first thing we're going to do is drive to this old restored castle. So we'll drive about an hour, and then this castle we'll tour and walk around for a little bit. And then from there we're very close to 3 or 4 of the main villages on the wine route. So should be a good day. It's yet another just incredibly gorgeous, beautiful day, and yeah, just really excited to get into it. We've just gotten into the castle, and this is pretty spectacular. Mind-blowing. Well worth the trip up here already. We're just inside the door. Feels a lot like something you would see in Game of Thrones. I expect meat and mead. Yeah, it's hard to imagine what life was actually like here. I mean, theoretically people lived here. Like, this was This is just beautiful. This is rolling hills, all the different colors, the tiny little towns dotted around. This is amazing. this has just exceeded expectations. This has been incredibly cool to walk around. The way that they even highlight the restoration and the history of the restoration. So, restored in 1900, and to see the ruinous state that it was in before this, and now how spectacular it is. This is the kind of history stuff that I really like. It's like history and technical and engineering and architecture, and it's just a combination of all of my favorite things. And there are the medieval toilets where you pooped out the side of the castle.
Next, it was off to one of the villages on the wine route. This is Wickreer. We did a couple of wine tastings at tasting rooms we just stumbled upon.
So we're in Wickreer. Yeah, definitely not how you say it. Just done a second tasting, and now we are about to walk through the vineyard. This is birds singing, looking down at these little French villages. I mean, the bluest sky that you possibly could have, the rolling hills. What a day. What a life. I'm just really struggling to put into words, though, what it just is endless. Village after village, vineyard after vineyard.
Can you see that the vines go all the way?
Yeah,
to
I mean,
the
just
horizon?
and I'm sure they're on the other side of that ridge too. Like,
But that's what you can't grasp in a picture.
yeah.
They're all
I mean,
the way
and
to
just
that horizon.
and like, yeah, you can't. Yeah, it would. Yeah. Alright, well, we made it back from the driving. We're a little tired. Strasbourg is really difficult to navigate. Only took 5 wrong turns today, but we made it. We just got back from another day, incredible day in Strasbourg. Dropped off Mom at the hotel and finishing with a beer on the river. So, cheers. Good morning from Strasbourg. We've just set out for the day and we just saw a corgi. So that's how you know it's going to be a good day. It's yet another just insanely gorgeous weather day. I can't imagine the weather could actually be more perfect. So slightly chilly. It's going to warm up to like 75. Not a cloud in the sky. and we're walking by a canal. Today we're planning to do a day trip to Colmar, so first we're walking to breakfast, trying somewhere new because we've gone to the same bakery the last 2 mornings, but venturing out. Gonna catch the train, it's about a 30-minute train, should be pretty easy. Looked it up last night. Yeah, it's such a fun way to travel.
This is Colmar. After walking around for a bit, we went to explore the main covered market.
This is a really cool covered market. Some food stalls, but it looks like some actual real, just kind of, yeah, you come here and buy your fish or your meat or your bread. There's your cheese and meat. Right next to the wine, of course. No, this is actually the cheese. There we go. Let's just say there's lots of cheese. I could spend some time here.
We continued exploring and found ourselves near the main church. Soon enough, it was time to head back to Strasbourg.
Well, Cherry took a early evening again, getting ready to pack for the trip to Zurich tomorrow. I came out one last time to sit on the canal and drink a beer, enjoy this most incredible weather. It's ending our time in Strasbourg. Really looking forward to the next phase of the trip. Switzerland starts tomorrow, so here we come. Cheers. One last goodbye from this incredible courtyard in Strasbourg. Today we head to Zurich. Just had breakfast at the hotel. It was just easier than trying to walk. Plus, today is a huge national holiday in France, so a lot of stuff is closed. And we were planning on getting pastries at our new favorite place, but it was closed. Mary Kate, we were planning on bringing you a croissant from France, but it was closed. Not our fault. Got about, actually just right at an hour until our train. We're supposed to get picked up from the hotel here in about 8 minutes, and yeah, on to the next leg of the journey. Off to Zurich. Off to Switzerland.
Yes, the mommy's gonna cry.
On the train to Zurich. Okay, come on. We made it. In time. Made it to Zurich. Well, we've just made it to our hotel in Zurich. This will definitely work for one night. it's a little too like fancy for me. Cherry and I were just talking about that we like nice, obviously. We like designed and well put together, but this like just hoity-toity luxury-ness, not what I would choose, but it was 400 feet from the train station. Getting Cherry to the airport tomorrow at 7 a.m. is going to be very easy, and it is very nice. I by no means am complaining. This works. This is excellent. Yeah, so explore Zurich for the afternoon, and then probably a somewhat early evening, because yeah, MK gets on her flight tonight, and Cherry leaves tomorrow. So yeah, dive into Zurich for a little bit. Well, we tried to start going out in Zurich. It's 80 degrees outside and sunny, and Cherry had to run back upstairs to get a long sleeve shirt. So, momentarily. Well, good morning from Zurich. It's just past 6 a.m. and today is when we're taking Cherry to the airport, and then MK is on her way. Flight's about 2 hours out. I knew it was going to be an early morning, but I should have gone to bed earlier. I'll wake up eventually. Oh, and if anybody's curious about why I do my hair, this is why I do my hair. This is what it looks like when I wake up. Well, I dropped Mom off at the airport. It's always really sad to see her go, but it's been an incredible part of the journey, and it's, I'm, I don't know, I don't have words for it, but came back into the city to wait for MK. It was going to be a couple hours until she deplaned and through customs and everything, so I wanted to be out in the day, and there was just nowhere pleasant to sit in the airport. Come to a little park next to the main train station, and MK texted me her flight landed. Cherry's about to get on the same plane that MK has just gotten off of. So far the planning has worked out well. It's been a bit of an aggressive schedule, but yeah, I think that this is going to be a really, really wonderful next part. Really excited that MK's here and ready to start this Switzerland leg of the trip on the precipice of the next leg of the journey.